Hey, and welcome to the very first episode of Virtual Whiplash, where the mic is on, the rig is glitchy, and the fun eternal. I'm your host, Ken, your favorite little techie cat turned chaotic VTuber. And today we are talking about what the heck is VTubing and how to do it for free. So, today is the first episode of what Virtual Whiplash is going to be. So basically what Virtual Whiplash is, it's a fun way to express different types of virtual content. So, let's say animation, VTubing. I'm trying to think of other ones off the top of my head, but I can't right now. We're also going to get some cool, fun collabs. In the near future, we're doing one with HEADFIRST Animations, who's I think rebranded as Mocha now. To do a VTubing versus animation, which one's better, which one's worse, which one's cooler for you, what you should choose. And I'm also going to be doing a really exciting one with an audio engineer. That's going to be really fun too. Yes, okay. So we are talking about, first let's do part one. So who, what, when, where, and why about VTubing. What even is it? So VTubing is basically a digital persona you control on screen, which could be 2D, 3D, crazy, non-crazy. A 2D or 3D model traditionally is what it is. And basically how you do it is you have this model and you control it with your face and bodily movements. So I could have a program saying, if my head in real life goes to the right and the webcam sees that, then a anime 2D character will then move their head to the right. And if I move it to the left, that moves their head to the left. It's that sort of thing. It's a mix of performance, animation, live streaming, sometimes storytelling. There's a lot of different things that can happen with VTubers. And most of the time, if you Google VTubers, it's not just anime girls, although it mostly is. It's furries, it's clowns, eldritch blobs, sentient toasters. It could be anyone. Anyone is a VTuber, and there are so many cool concepts out there for VTubing, and there are so many cool characters out there for VTubing. So VTubing is just virtual YouTubing, and it's basically just being you, but behind a digital version of you, or of something else. So you don't actually, most VTubers stream games, you don't even need to do that. There's VTuber musicians, podcasters, hello, teachers, agent, there's so many types of people, and there's so many types of VTubers out there. So it's basically just you being you, but with some sort of digital assistant helping you and showing you. Now, there's some types of VTubing. So you're picking your form, 2D, 3D, or PNG. It's basically like a starter Pokemon, but way more expensive. This choice affects everything. Your software, your budget, your camera, how much you scream when everything breaks, and I say when, not if, because when is when it happens. So let's break it down. No bias, just what everything is. So, the main three types are PNG tubing, 2D VTubing, and 3D VTubing. By the end of this, you're going to be a VTubing pro. So, PNG VTubing or PNG tubing, is the easiest form of VTubing. It's basically pre-drawn images, hence the PNG part, that are put into a software. We'll talk more about software later. But they're put into a software that detects what emotion your face is in and puts a picture up accordingly. These pictures are pre-drawn, and normally you can commission someone else to do them. And then, if I was to be really sad right now, the computer would pick that up and be like, oh, okay, let's make the actual character the sad image or the happy image. It's super easy to set up, and use, and you don't have to have a PC that runs well. It's really light. It's super easy to make the model yourself too, as it's just drawing. So PNG tubing is the best type for people who just want to start out. If anything I say about PNG 2D or 3D is confusing, I'm sure if you just go and Google PNG tubing, 2D VTubing, or 3D VTubing, and see the first VTubers that come up, it'll make a lot more sense. So 2D VTubing is the most classic form. 2D is getting pre-drawn parts of the body, layering them over each other, and programming them in a way that they can move naturally. That sort of programming is called rigging. Remember that word, because we'll use that later on. And you use facial trackers and body trackers to use. It's a little hard to explain, but it makes sense if you watch a few 2D VTubers. So basically, you draw, it's a bit more, it's a little bit more, how would I say it? It's a bit more, it's a little more like complicated and a bit more like layered and all this stuff compared to like PNG tubing. Um, but it's like, oh, it could be a lot more immersive and a lot more cooler. Normally start off with PNG tubing and then go into 2D or 3D VTubing. 2D VTubing is the most classic form. It's a little more PC like intensive, but not drastically. And 2D is what most people use. It's most supported, and it's what most of the community uses. So if you have any problems, you could probably solve them with like just r/VTubing or any of the Reddit pages. 2D is like, if you're making the model yourself and you want to do VTubing for free, it's, if you're not an artist, it's hard to make the model yourself, as it's like literally you drawing in how the eyes will look when you're happy and the eyes will look when you're sad, and you having to make, especially if it's an anime sort of character, it could be a very confusing process. 3D VTubing is like the cool new kid on the block with all these quirky new things, but it almost never works. So 3D VTubing is getting a full 3D model of a character, rigging it and getting it to track your body. Most of the time it'll be tracking your full body, but sometimes it's just your face or your like emotions or just your hands and face, that sort of thing. So one of the most popular VTubers, Fillion, utilizes 3D VTubing to the max. So they have like full body tracking, they do crazy things like backflips and like dancing midstream. I really want to like do some full body tracking too. I only have hand and face tracking. Hopefully for my birthday I can afford something like that. Um, so yes, 3D is like it's very new and glitchy. It's very hard on your PC, and it's a very techy thing. It's better done for people who are good with tech and can solve a lot of techie problems. This is especially true if you're trying free systems out. So if you're trying like systems like VC Face and those sort of like free, like Waruno, what I'm using right now to film, it can be very like breaky and not work well, especially if I want to do like cool things that aren't just the stock. Making a 3D VTuber model is like fairly complex. There is a program we'll talk about more later called VRoid Studio that can make it easier, but it could look a little basic, and you can kind of tell VRoid models apart from normal models. I recommend learning Blender and Unity and how to use them with a VRoid model if you're going to use VRoid, because otherwise your character will kind of look like everyone else's, and then you can't really stand out from the herd, and you won't do well as a VTuber. So, yeah, VTubing with 3D can be very hard to do, as you have to like get like a character, and you have to get all this crazy like tech rigging stuff done. You have to like get a lot more like meshes and that sort of thing. And you have to like learn how to 3D model, which can be very hard unless you use like VRoid Studio, that sort of thing. But it can pay off. So we have some statements here that have been collected from the internet, and these have been like just what like a lot of people have said, but I don't know if they're entirely true or not. So the first statement is 3D is only good for people with VR setups or full body rigs. So by full body rigs, we're talking like just having an entire suit on that tracks your entire bodily movements down to the twitch. So VR setups and full body rigs, 3D is good for that sort of thing, especially more than 2D and PNG. But the thing about 3D is that you can do stuff where it's just tracking your face. Like right now, all I'm doing is tracking my face and hands, and it's working perfectly. 3D can be a great thing if you want to have different environments, right? Like there are a lot of free environments and open source environments you can have that can help you with your 3D model, and that can help you like, have a model that you can actually move around to different parts of the environment, and that's really cool. So I would say no, 3D isn't only good for people with VR setups or full body rigs, but if you have a VR setup or full body rig, probably do 3D. 2D looks more professional, especially for anime style streamers. That actually is probably, there's no masking it, 2D probably does look more professional, it's a lot less glitchy. Like right now, I'm a little twitchy at the moment, like my character, if I put my hands too close to my face, it'll like glitch out a little bit. If you guys are on the podcast version, I'm sorry you can't see this. But yes, what I'm a bit glitchy. You don't get that so much with 2D. 2D is a bit more polished and professional. But the thing is, you can have some professional looking 3D. things. There are some really cool people out there who have made like exclusive setups only for them that have looked really, really polished. But most of the time, 2D will look more professional and will look more classic because it's the one that's been mostly researched and mostly like developed. And it's, yeah, especially for anime style streamers, you can kind of always be like 2D's more for anime and 2D's more for just the VTubing community. Most people choose 2D as a thing. Here's another one. PNG VTubers don't count as VTubers. That is very wrong. PNG tubing is a very legitimate way to VTube. It is cheap, it is fast, it is easy on your system, and it is just an overall great way to know if you're a VTuber or not. Here's like how to know if you're a VTuber or not. You need two things. One, to be in some sense virtual, and two, to call yourself it. That's it. It's literally just like, if you think you're a VTuber or want to be a VTuber and you're not really like showing your face and stuff, you're a VTuber. It's not anything big. It's not like you have to like sign a form and then go through like VTubers Anonymous and then like VTuber Incorporated and all these websites. You just have to say you're a VTuber and you're a VTuber. You can't. Okay, here's the next one. You can't do real comedy or movement in 2D. That's also fairly wrong. I think what you could do is you could have some movement in 2D, not as much as you can do in 3D, but like, especially with people like Saba and stuff, movement isn't everything. And they could have movement, like if I move my head to the right, the rest of my body kind of moves a little bit forward. Like my right shoulder will kind of be moving a little bit more forwarder. And that's like basically what 2D is. So if I am looking right, sometimes my body can like actually move with it. So you can have some like full body movement and stuff like that. But yes, you can do real movement, and like I guess movement comedy is really hard to do in 2D, but it can be done. Here's another one. You should start with PNG and work your way up. Hey, that's like good advice, but I never took that. I always did my videos while like not doing them with just PNG. I started with 3D. I kind of stayed with 3D. 3D was kind of just how I got into the deep end, and then I was kind of already in the deep end. So like like I recommend you start with PNG and then like find out if you actually really like it. But you could just go my way and jump straight in and hope you don't die. Which is what happened to me. I didn't die. And now I'm doing a podcast, which is pretty cool. So, like, yeah, VTubing isn't always about pretending to be someone else. It's about showing versions of yourself that can't be judged by real world standards. If you want to be a mushroom witch with anger issues, sure, whatever you want. Although sometimes people do use it for cosplay, which is what we're getting into now. So, who is VTubing actually for? Why would people want to VTube when you could just like have normal sorts of content creation, or like normal with finger quotes sorts of content creation, and still like get famous off of it? Why wouldn't you want to be famous or have all this like stuff? So it's for like people who want to tell stories as a character, not just behind one, right? So if like when you're telling a story as a character, it could be kind of hard to like, if you're saying one from just being behind a character and saying like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do this now. You have to tell everyone, oh, imagine I'm a blah 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 blah. You could like be a legitimate character. You could. So it's for people who want to cosplay basically, or act as different characters. So it's like for people who want to, yeah, cosplay different characters, people who want to have a different take on content creation. If you want to do something that's like a little bit different than everyone else, you want to stand out in your sort of content fields, then VTubing is a great way to do that. Or people who just don't want to show their faces on stream. That could be because they don't want to be famous, or they don't want to be spotted in public. It could be because they don't like who they are. It could be that they don't want to have the pressure of always having to look good in front of a camera. There are many reasons why people want to be VTubing, but it's mostly for cosplaying or like acting as different characters, or just being unique and new and cool. Yeah, it's for people who just don't feel comfy on camera but still want to stream. That's like another reason. Yeah, anyone can really be a VTuber. It could be like animators, artists, writers, streamers, gremlins. VTubing is just for anyone, really. As long as you just want to be like new, you want to be a new character and not just like think about it'd be funny if I was this character. You are that character. So have you ever felt like your IRL face doesn't really match your energy? Like inside you're a neon cat wizard, but outside you're a tired student with eye bags and a hoodie? Then VTubing is for you. Okay, now we're on to the whens. We've done, wait, what have we done? We've done what and who. Now we're up to when. I don't think we're doing this in order. It's who, what, when. No, yeah, we're not doing it in order. Um, so when did VTubing start? It originated around 2016 with a person called Kizuna AI. And Kizuna was like the biggest starting point for VTubing, and from there it really took off. It exploded globally during lockdowns, like all streaming services did, especially with VTubers like Fillion or Gura. So around 2020, it started going really crazy, and now it's still evolving with, especially now with like AI, indie software, and way more diverse characters. It is going to be a big thing. I feel it in my brain. But it started in Japan, but now you've got Catboys in Canada, Demon Girls in Spain, and whatever the heck I am, right here in your living room, or your headphones, or whatever. Where does VTubing happen? Okay, now we're into the where. So where VTubing can happen in Twitch, mostly it's Twitch because the pure spontaneous, like how spontaneous VTubing is, like okay, so when I put my hand up, right? I know my VTuber avatar is gonna put its hand up, but I don't know exactly how. I don't know if there's gonna be any like glitching or anything funny happening. Like so it's very spontaneous and stuff. So it happens a lot on Twitch. It could happen on YouTube, TikTok, even Discord. It's just everywhere. VTubing is like a virus, and I'm patient number 0. Well, really, Kuzuna AI was, but I'm patient number close to 0. It can happen in podcasts like this one. Hi. If you guys can't see, I'm actually a VTuber right now. I'm in my VTuber avatar and VTubing. Anywhere with a webcam and dreams. It could happen in like VTuber conventions too. That's a cool thing. There are online and offline VTuber conventions, but that's a future topic for a future day. So now we're on to the why. Why VTubing? Why would you want to do this? So you can like perform as a character, you can tell stories, play games, you can entertain people. It's creative freedom to really just make your own world and do whatever you want without anyone having to tell you, hey, no, physics, that's a thing now. You can just do whatever you want. It's safer and more private than just having your face on there, which can be a necessity for some people who like are part of, I don't know, maybe I'm a CIA agent, and I don't want you to like pay attention to me because I'm like on the Matrix, but I still want to do some content creation. So VTubing is for me. You can literally make friends and like you can make friends and fans without showing your face. That can be a really fun thing to do. Oh, and branding. We'll get more into that later, but branding. But like, do you ever walk into a room and instantly be a talking magic eyeball? Like, VTubing lets you do your own weird. You could do whatever you want. Okay, so that's the who, what, when, where, and why of VTubing. Now we shall go into part 2. How to do VTubing for free. So, yes. So we're mostly going to be talking about hardware, software, like the avatar options that you need, some extra things to mention, and then we get to talk about the persona, and that's a really cool thing. So we'll like speed through all this boring hardware, software stuff. So any PC and laptop that can handle OBS plus webcam can technically work, but not really. What you need really depends on if you're doing 2D, 3D, or PNG. For 3D, you'll need a fairly good PC with like a 4070, probably overclocked, with like a Ryzen 7 7700X. If you don't know what those are, 3D VTubing is probably not for you. There are PC parts for building your own PC, which is like really techie thing to do, so it's for techie people, 3D. But if you're not that techie, still do it. I'm not here to hold your dreams back. I'm here to enforce them. Wait, no, not enforce them. What's the right word? Growth of them. That doesn't make sense either. I'm here to help, I guess. I'm here to help you dream. Let's go with that. For 2D, you'll need something a little less than like a 47. So with the 47 and 77700X, that's like what would make it run smoothly. For 2D, you can have something a little less, but CPUs should always be prioritized, as 2D and 3D have lots of multitasking. Like right now, I have Brave browser open, I have OBS open. I don't know why I have Discord open, but I have Discord open. I have my like music open, and 3 other applications form just purely my VTuber avatar. So I have a lot of programs open, so you need a good CPU to actually be able to run all this. For PNG, you won't really need anything big. Any PC will do, even like a toaster or something. Yeah, for every model type, you'll need a webcam. Not a good one, just one that can, like, see your face. And which isn't hard to get for, like, a really cheap price. So the thing about, like, webcams is that they all can kind of see your face, so you shouldn't spend too much time worrying about the webcam. Most of your pocket money should go towards a mic. Everyone can deal with a bad model, but hearing like for 5 hours, no. So what you will need is some sort of really good mic, or even a crappy mic that you configure to be really good. So yeah, a webcam should be much of your priority, but a mic really should. If you're going to be doing a lot of research, it should be on a mic and how to do that. That's why I'm getting an audio engineer or a sound engineer, as they're called, on this stream, so that on this podcast in episode I think like 3 or 4, so that I can be able to talk to them about that and what's actually good and what's cheap and what's like, why do we need, after we go to like $200 more with like actual microphones. You can't just buy a microphone, you have to buy a microphone set. So you have to buy a microphone, you have to buy this little like port thingy, so then you have to like get like all these like knobs and like twisters and stuff on them that you then need to plug into your PC, and there's like all this like technical stuff, and it can be really hard to do. So that's why we're going to be interviewing a sound engineer later on. But yeah, it really depends if you're doing 2D, 3D, or PNG. It really goes from running everything on a toaster, which is PNG, to like all of NASA's computing power, which is 3D. So for software now, for PNG tubing, it's really good if you have like, I don't know actually how to pronounce it. I never pronounced it in real life before, but VTube, I think, VTube Mini. You could even have like Discord reactive images or like OBS hotkeys. Like live 2D avatars could be a great thing, like that sort of live 2D, custom made or pre-made characters, depending on what you're doing. If you want like a commission character, you can get pre-made models too from sites like Boost, VTuber resources on Discord and stuff, or Prixiv, Prixiv, Prixive assets. Um, if you're try Nizuma or VTuber Studio, which is really good for like base. It's free for like the basic model of it. For 3D, you could do VC Face. It's Windows only, which might be a bit annoying. Customizable and supports leap motion later. So that could be a really great thing. For your own studio, you can design your model for free, but like I was talking about before, I recommend you go into Unity and Blender and learn all that if you're going to be creating your own model, so that you can make a model that doesn't look like all the others. Animes, but some features are paid for animes, so that's annoying. Luppet is not free, but it's a great upgrade for later. Warudo, what I'm using right now, is absolutely fantastic. It's free, it's great to use, it's open source, compatible with Stream Deck. I don't know if BC Face is, but Warudo definitely is. It's great. Yeah. So there's also, you'll need like OBS Studio. I highly recommend that. I think, can you do like two like streams at once? Like you can double stream on YouTube and Twitch. I don't know if you can on OBS, but that like OBS is just basically the best out of everything. You can add your VTuber software as a source, add mics, overlays, gameplay, and backgrounds on OBS. And by the way, use Streamlabs for overlays. I am not sponsored by any of these. I should mention that. I'm not sponsored by any of these. Streamlabs is just, I know, it's just a generally great way to be VTubing. And it has so many, like, fun things on it that you can, like, configure for your character and stuff. It makes your streams look way more professional and way more fun. But yeah, not sponsored or not getting any money, or I haven't really talked to the team at all, like Streamlabs. If I should get a sponsor, I should do that actually. Yeah, basically OBS is like the stage manager of your chaos. It keeps the camera rolling while you dance around as a bat in space. That's basically what OBS is doing. So for free music for streams, you should get like, this is just some extra free things, like Stream Beats, Incompetech, and YouTube Audio Library. I think you could use those. For sound alerts, Sound Bible, Voice Mod, or I think you could use Streamlabs. I don't know, for sound alerts. I have some like sound alerts on my stream. I don't know if they're Streamlabs though. I should actually check that. Okay. Now we're into the persona. So the persona of your avatar really defines your avatar. It's if you're going to be some sort of like angry girl character or like a really happy character. This should be the thing you're spending a lot of time on. Like obviously choosing what medium you're going to be doing and what like your hardware is and choosing your PC and all that is that's all important. But if you can't have the model, which is the biggest thing of VTubing, right, then you can't really have anything right. So let's start off with a few of those now. So this is just kind of the fun part. We get to talk about all this stuff. I should do a deep dive into this. I will later. I'll do like an hour stream on that. But that's another time for another thing. So the lore is number one. So the thing about the lore is it's talked about way too much. So basically, the concept of lore is I'm a space cat. Wait, where did I come from? So it can define you. It can make for some fun jokes on stream, or it can be just a little bit of text. Um, so basically the lore of I don't want to talk too much about it because it's talked about way too much, but it's basically just the backstory of your character and how it all works. Not just your character, but the universe your character is in. So like, are you a human, animal, ghost, glitch, cosmic entity, sentient plants? Just listing random things here. Where did you come from? Earth, another dimension, a spilled energy drink? Do you have powers, curses, a tragic backstory? Were you made in a lab, cafe, or just like an anime filler episode? So that's like some cool things. So a lore is like you don't need a full lore doc. Just tell us what would your persona's villain origin story be. Are you here to entertain the humans or spy on them? That sort of thing. It's just like a small little thing to help your character. It doesn't need to define you, like it does for a lot of VTubers, and that's why they get into a little trap where they're like, "Hey, I really like how this is, so I want to put it on my my story." And then you kind of always are thinking about this and how it's on my story, and then you kind of let it define you, and then you're always thinking about how you can make your character more like your lore, and it should just be a thing that you should define your lore. Your lore shouldn't define you. That's basically what I'm saying. Okay, now we're into the look. So the visual identity of your character. It's way more important than the lore, and it's all about how you look. So it needs to fit you, your personality, and your voice. Funnily enough, after this, we're talking about the voice and the personality of you. So yeah, stick around for that. But yeah, it needs to fit you. I used to have a character with like it used to have really wide eyes, looked really cute, it had a small face, but it turned out wide eyes and a small face looks really feminine. I didn't know that until it was actually pointed out to me. And a really feminine character didn't really fit my voice, and that was a real turn off for people, and it broke the immersion of me actually being this character. So your look can really identify you, and it can identify how a lot of people see you. My character's a lot more male now, and a lot more like masculine, which is a really great thing because my voice is really masculine. So it's really like about your aesthetic and how you are you. So this is I'm only doing like a small overview of each of these. I won't go into a full like thingy. That's for another episode. But yeah. So basically, I got like some questions that you should think about when you're doing your actual like look and stuff. So they are. So like, what aesthetic fits your chaos? Are you like a cyberpunk, cottagecore, emo toaster? Like, what colors scream you? Are you like a like not scream at you, but like scream like you, your character, your brand? Like, is it hot pink and acid green, all black everything? What kind of are you? Any iconic accessories like an eye patch, some like cat ears and a curly, three floating eyeballs? Is there like a signature outfit for you, or do you change like a Barbie doll? Like, here's some tips. Like, use Pinterest for inspo. Go to Pinterest and Google, like, VTuber avatar. Or, like, if you want to have, like, a really... If you think... Okay, so, what I recommend is you start with PNG. And then you just do some random streams with some random, like, PNG characters. And then you, like, find out what your persona is. Or what you can actually be. And what your personality can be. And if it's going to be, like, an extended version of you. But we'll talk about that later. But, yeah, how is it going to be like you? And like what is your personality on stream, and can you like be a like crazy backflippy character all the time, or are you a bit more introverted so you have to have like a persona that fits you? So yeah, like use Pinterest boards for inspo and just go and like be like, okay, I've done some streaming with a PNG avatar. Now let's go on Pinterest and be like, okay, I'm really good at talking a lot and rambling, but being really high energy while doing so. Let's Google some like crazy VTuber avatars or like high energy VTuber avatars. You could get some really great stuff off of like Pinterest for this. Again, not sponsored by anything I mentioned here. I am not sponsored at all. Yeah. Colors matter too, guys. Colors matter. If you're doing purple, gold, red, they all mean different things, whether it be mystical, whether it be regal, whether it be chaotic hot mess. Colors matter, and color theory matters. So you should, like, look into that. Look what colors mix. Look what colors bring out what emotions in people. If you have a really pastel character for a really bad demon, it might seem like a good idea on paper, but then when you actually do it, you look like a really sleepy, like, colors for a really crazy character. And that can be very crazy, like, that can be very annoying. Someone drew fan out of you. What features would they have to include? Like, and how do you get those features to stand out? That sort of thing. So your look is one of the biggest things you should spend time on. Especially also the next thing, which is the voice and personality. Your personality is everything, and you should also spend a lot of time on this. So this is, how do you like talk as your persona? Are you like cutesy, sarcastic, menacing but polite? Do you switch moods like me? Because I'm like, whenever I'm on stream, I get really mad sometimes, really angry sometimes, really happy sometimes, but like not in like a explosive way, just like a 16 personalities all at once way? Or will you like stay consistent in one mood? Will you just be like a chill character all the time? Or will you be like a really angry character all the time who hates the world? Or are you gonna be like an old man all the time who also hates the world but in a different way? Like, so what are you gonna be? Um, what's your energy too? Are you gonna like be like a chaos goblin, like a sad princess, a chill teacher, hyper baby goat, like a little gremlin? What's your energy? What is your character gonna be like? A voice style, like voice style tip, it could be like an exaggerated version of you, total plot armor, or somewhere in between. Normally it's easiest to do an exaggerated version of you, and that's not like, I'm not taking anything away from that, because even though it's easy, it's really great and it can make it really fun, especially if you're being like, if you are as a person are really nice and fun. Then an exaggerated version of yourself on stream would be also be really nice and fun, just like way more nice and fun, and that could be really cool. I will never recommend to anyone until the day I die that you make your personality yourself, because I mean, even if you're the most extroverted extrovert on the planet, people aren't coming to see you, they're coming to see your persona. And I'm sorry to say this, but I've never seen anyone work out where they've been like, my persona is just me. My personality is, or my character is just me. That never works out. And I'm sorry if you've done that, and I'm sorry if I'm being mean, but like, trying to change it, that never really works out very well. You could be like a soft-spoken demon with anxiety, or a screaming slime girl who eats glitter. This is your stage. This is where you could control everything. You can also control everything with this next bit, which is catchphrases, quirks, and weird habits. So when I mean this, I'm thinking about like catchphrase when starting stream. Like, let's say when you start the stream, you have like a very iconic line of you saying in a deep voice, "Systems online, chaos pending." That's just a random idea, but you can have like your like thing be like, "Oh, hi everyone," and you always start with, "Oh, hi everyone," and you do it in that exact same pitch in that exact same time with the exact same voice crack, and it'd be like kind of funny. So like you can have a catchphrase when starting stream. You can have a catchphrase halfway through the stream that you keep on saying all the time. Like with me, I always say, I have to be doing it less actually. I should probably be doing it more. Which is, anyway, back to the game part of the game, which basically means like I've been like been looking at the game and then doing something completely random and off topic, and then going like, oh wait, the game part of the game, yeah, and then go back to like the aim of the game, and I'll stop going off. So that's like my little catchphrase, and I don't have a lot of quirks and weird habits, which I should, and I should get more of. So like some of them could be like refers to your chat as my minions, or the flock, or the snack squad, that sort of thing. Don't take my ideas. They're mine. I'll sue you. I'm joking. Take them if you want. Like minions, the flock, snack squad. I don't know if anyone actually has those. I think minions actually taken. Sorry for anyone who wanted minions. Yeah, this can happen as you develop your VTuber and an audience too. So when you're developing your actual, like, character and you're developing your audience, you're starting to get like a community Discord and starting to get some momentum, that's when a lot of the catchphrases and quirks will actually start appearing. They shouldn't be a planned thing, they should just be a thing that naturally happens as you go along with your stream. People like Fillion, right? One of her things is that everyone mocks her that she's like a guy because she does a lot of things that guys do, even though she's a girl. So what people do is they're always thinking like, oh, let's tease her again. And they're like, oh, okay, let's do that. So then they tease her. And that's like, she didn't plan that. She didn't go into being like, she didn't write on paper like, okay, chat is going to diss me for this, 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 this. They're going to say lines like this, this, this. These things aren't planned. They just happen. And they're really fun when they just happen. And they're just things that can like really be really cool. My cat's here. Everybody say hi to my kitty. Hello, kitty. Okay, so what phrase could you say that could become your catchphrase? You should think about that. And like, if your persona had one daily ritual that's completely unhinged, what would it be? Like, that could like help you get your catchphrases and quirks and weird habits. So now we're on to number 5, which is, I think, the final one. And we're gonna pack up soon. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so the final one is vibes and law conflict. Which is a very interesting thing that a lot of people do, but if you spend a lot of time thinking about it, it could actually be really cool. You need to actually gain some momentum before you decide this, but it could make some really cool things. So what I mean is, like, for example, your character is like a fearsome warrior, but is afraid of spiders, or you're like a celestial being, but you're like broke, or you claim to be royalty, but stream from a cardboard castle. Like, it's just things that like can kind of conflict your whole lore idea in a funny, entertaining way. This is a great way to do it. Like, my model could be a cursed mage from a 1,000-year-old dimension, but I still cry when I stub my toe. The contrast makes you more memorable, and it can make you really interesting. You should remember this. The contrast makes you more memorable. That is like a key line that you should quote me on, and blah blah blah. I should get an Oscar for that. Okay. But like, it's what you say matters a lot. And if you say things that contrast you in funny, interesting ways, that could be something that makes you more memorable. And it is something that makes you more memorable. Like, you're not just going to have like a rapid fire persona, 60 seconds go, theme, emotion, object, done, I've made my persona. It should be a thing that's like slowly goes along with you. It should be a thing that you kind of like do a little bit of, and then it slowly builds up with you and builds up with your whole like model and brand. And also I think, like, what if your persona had a spin-off? Like, what would their reality show be? What's their coffee order? What's their biggest scandal? What would get them cancelled? That sort of thing. That could, like, also help you if you have, like, a character that's, like, a little bit like you, but not. And then you kind of switch between the two, and you have, like, 2 different models that are kind of the opposite. That's another thing that you could do that could be an easier way of having, like, a vibes-burst look. And that contrast makes you really memorable and interesting. And, I mean, you gotta remember, people aren't gonna be thinking about you all the time. This is, like, when you're starting VTubing, people aren't thinking about you, like, all the time. You're not going about their day being like, oh boy, I wonder how my VTuber I saw is gonna think about this. I wonder how that VTuber I saw is gonna do this. It's like, they don't think about you all the time. And, I mean, that's another story for another day, and I'm going to release a video on my channel about that, and I talk about things like how people interpret what you're saying, and how to get people to not interpret the wrong thing about what you're saying. But, like, yeah, it's really hard to create a vibes versus lore conflict. But if you do make this funny duality, it'll really help your stream, and it'll really help you be more memorable and cooler for your stream. You just have to find the right way to put it. Like, you can't do it at the start of your channel. That's kind of be like once you start getting momentum. So anyway, what is VTubing? It's you, amplified, pixelized, and reborn as a chaotic gremlin with a mic. Can you do it for free? Yes. Will it look like a Netflix special? Not yet. But will it be you? Absolutely. Next episode, we're going to be talking about, with a guest, HEADFIRST Animations, aka Mocha. We're going to be talking about VTubing versus animation, the differences, similarities, that sort of thing. Blah, 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 blah. and that'll be really fun. So don't forget to stick around for that and some other cool things that I'll be doing, like with the audio engineer and some other fun things. I have some lot of stuff planned for this like podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.